First contact. The message arrived at Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Station on a quiet Tuesday morning. Dr. Sarah Chen had been reviewing routine data streams when an unusual pattern caught her attention. The signal was unlike anything she'd seen before. A complex series of pulses that seemed to defy standard communication protocols. "Director Hayes, you need to see this," she called out, her eyes never leaving the scrolling data on her screen. The signal's strength was remarkable, especially considering its apparent origin from the outer edges of charted space. James Hayes, director of the DSMS, leaned over her shoulder, his weathered face illuminated by the blue glow of the monitors. "What are we looking at, Dr. Chen?" "It's structured. Too structured to be natural. But it's not matching any known patterns in our database." Sarah's fingers flew across the keyboard, running analysis after analysis. "The signal appears to be coming from the Carina Nebula region, approximately 7,500 light-years away." Hayes straightened, his expression grave. "Can you decode it?" Sarah shook her head, then paused as new data flooded her screen. "Wait, there's more. The signal is changing, adapting. It's almost as if..." Her voice trailed off as realization dawned. "It's learning our language. The pattern is evolving to match Earth's digital communications." Over the next 72 hours, the signal continued to transform. Scientists from around the world joined the effort to understand its message, and gradually the alien transmission began to take shape. The Meridians, as they called themselves, were reaching out in desperation. Their civilization, once spanning dozens of star systems, faced an unprecedented threat. A massive cosmic anomaly had appeared in their home region of space, a phenomenon they called the Void Storm. It was consuming entire solar systems, breaking down the very fabric of space-time itself. The Meridians' advanced technology had proven powerless against it, and their attempts to evacuate their worlds were hampered by the storm's expansion. What made their message particularly striking was not just their plea for help, but their explanation of why they chose Earth. They had been observing humanity for decades, watching as our species overcame countless challenges through sheer determination and creativity. While other advanced civilizations they had contacted dismissed their plight as hopeless, the Meridians believed humans might see possibilities where others saw only inevitable defeat. The revelation of alien life and their desperate situation sparked intense debate across Earth. Political leaders argued over the risks and benefits of intervention. Scientists debated the feasibility of helping a civilization so far advanced beyond our own. And the public was divided between fear of the unknown and a desire to prove humanity's worth on the cosmic stage. But for Sarah Chen and many others at the DSMS, the choice was clear. "We can't ignore this," she argued during an emergency United Nations session, broadcast globally. "The Meridians chose us not because we're the most advanced or powerful species they could find, but because they recognized something in us that their own civilization had perhaps forgotten. The unwillingness to accept defeat, even in the face of impossible odds." Her words resonated with many, and within weeks, the United Nations Space Coalition was formed. Its mission: to mount humanity's first interstellar rescue operation. The project was designated Operation Starbridge, and it would push human innovation and cooperation to their limits. As preparations began, Sarah found herself at the heart of the operation. Her unique understanding of the Meridian communications made her invaluable to the mission. Working with a team of international experts, she helped develop new technologies that would allow humans to bridge the vast distance between Earth and the Meridian civilization. The scale of the challenge was unprecedented. Humanity would need to develop faster-than-light travel capabilities, create new forms of energy generation, and solve countless other technological hurdles, all while racing against time to save a civilization they had never met. But as Sarah watched the first prototype vessels being constructed in orbit, she felt a surge of pride in her species. Humans had always been dreamers, pushing boundaries and defying limitations. Now they would have the chance to prove that their determination and ingenuity could make a difference on a cosmic scale. "We're really doing this," Hayes said, standing beside her in the observation deck as they watched the construction crews working in space. "Taking our first real steps into the galaxy." Sarah nodded, her eyes fixed on the gleaming ships taking shape against the backdrop of stars. "The Meridians were right to reach out to us. We may not be the most advanced species in the galaxy, but we've never let that stop us before." As the first phase of Operation Starbridge neared completion, Sarah couldn't help but feel that humanity was standing on the brink of its greatest adventure. The message from the stars had changed everything, but it had also revealed something crucial about human nature. When faced with the impossible, humanity's first instinct wasn't to retreat, but to rise to the challenge. The real test was just beginning. The human response. Operation Starbridge transformed the landscape of human civilization overnight. Around the globe, research facilities redirected their efforts toward solving the seemingly impossible challenge of interstellar travel. The urgency of the Meridian situation demanded innovation at an unprecedented pace. Colonel Maya Patel stood in the command center of the newly established Starbridge complex in Geneva, watching as holographic displays showed the progress of various teams worldwide. As operation director, she had the monumental task of coordinating humanity's greatest technological leap forward. "Status update on the Hawking drive," she asked, addressing Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, the lead physicist on the propulsion team. "We've achieved stable quantum tunneling in the latest tests," Marcus reported, his excitement barely contained. "The theoretical framework the Meridians provided is revolutionary. They showed us the door. We just had to figure out how to walk through it." The Meridians had included basic scientific principles in their transmission, not detailed blueprints, but rather fundamental concepts that challenged human understanding of physics. It was their way of confirming that faster-than-light travel was possible, while leaving humanity to develop its own solutions. And the containment field. Maya pressed, knowing that this had been their biggest obstacle. Holding steady at 99.7% efficiency. Dr. Chen's communications team helped us crack the pattern. "The same principles that allowed the Meridian's message to reach us are key to stabilizing the quantum field." Maya nodded, allowing herself a small smile. In just 6 months, they had achieved what many had thought would take decades. 3 prototype ships were nearing completion in orbit: the Odyssey, the Prometheus, and the Horizon. Each represented the pinnacle of human engineering, combining traditional space travel technology with revolutionary new systems based on their understanding of Meridian science. But the technical challenges were only part of the equation. Maya turned her attention to another screen, where news feeds showed ongoing protests outside various government buildings. Not everyone supported the massive allocation of resources to Operation Starbridge. Critics argued that humanity should focus on solving Earth's problems before reaching for the stars. "They don't understand what's at stake," Dr. Chen said, joining Maya at the command station. "This isn't just about saving the Meridians. Everything we're learning, every breakthrough we make, it's advancing human civilization by centuries." Maya understood both perspectives. The operation was consuming enormous resources, but it was also driving innovation in ways that would benefit all of humanity. New energy systems developed for the ships were already being adapted for civilian use. Medical technologies created for the mission were revolutionizing treatment methods on Earth. "Latest transmission from the Meridian space?" Maya asked, changing the subject. Sarah's expression heightened. "The Void Storm is accelerating its expansion. 3 more of their colony systems have been evacuated. They're consolidating their remaining population in the core systems." But she didn't need to finish the sentence. Time was running out. The mission would be humanity's most ambitious undertaking. The plan called for the 3 ships to make the journey to Meridian space, each carrying specialized equipment and expert teams. The Odyssey would lead the mission, with Maya commanding, while the Prometheus and Horizon would provide support and redundancy. humanity's insurance against the unknown dangers of interstellar space. All hands meeting in 30 minutes, Maya announced over the complex's communication system. Final mission briefing. As the command center buzzed with activity, Maya took a moment to reflect on the magnitude of what they were attempting. Humanity had dreamed of reaching the stars for generations, but no one had imagined their first major venture into interstellar space would be a rescue mission. The meeting room filled quickly with the mission's key personnel. Scientists, engineers, medical experts, and military officers, each representing the best in their fields. Maya looked over the assembled group, feeling the weight of their combined hopes and fears. In 48 hours, we launch, she began, her voice steady. Everything we've worked for, everything we've built, will be put to the test. The Meridians reached out to us because they saw something in humanity, a spirit that refuses to accept defeat. Now it's time to prove them right. The room was silent, the magnitude of the moment sinking in. They were about to attempt something that would either mark humanity's greatest triumph or its most ambitious failure. The risks were enormous, but the potential rewards, both for Earth and for their relationship with an advanced alien civilization, were even greater. As the briefing concluded, Maya found herself standing with Sarah Chen, looking out over the Geneva landscape. The evening sun cast long shadows across the complex's grounds, where thousands of people were working tirelessly to prepare for the launch. "Do you think we're ready?" Sarah asked quietly. Maya considered the question carefully. "I don't know if anyone can ever be truly ready for something like this. But I do know that if any species can pull off the impossible, it's humans. We've spent our entire history doing things people said couldn't be done." The next 48 hours would test that theory to its limits. As the sun set on humanity's last days as a planetary civilization, the stars seemed to shine brighter, beckoning them toward their destiny among them. Bridge across stars. The journey through interstellar space was unlike anything humanity had prepared for. Despite months of simulations and training, nothing could have truly readied the crews for the reality of faster-than-light travel. The Hawking drive bent space around the ships in ways that defied conventional physics, creating sensations that the human mind struggled to process. The Odyssey led the small fleet through the void, its sensors constantly scanning for signs of the approaching void storm. After 3 weeks of travel, they detected the first evidence of the Meridian civilization, a network of automated beacons marking safe travel corridors through their space. "Multiple contacts ahead," reported Lieutenant Emma Santos from her station on the Odyssey's bridge. Consistent with the beacon signatures the Meridians described in their transmissions. Colonel Patel stood at the command station, her eyes fixed on the main view screen. "Take us in, steady approach. Alert the Prometheus and Horizon to maintain formation." The beacons guided them deeper into Meridian space, where the first signs of the catastrophe became visible. Entire star systems showed signs of disruption, their natural orbital patterns distorted by the void storm's influence. The damage was worse than their long-range scans had suggested. "Incoming transmission," Dr. Chen announced, her hands moving across her console. "It's them." The message came through in clear, synthesized English, the result of the Meridian's adaptive communication systems. "Human vessels, you are approaching Meridian Prime. We honestly weren't certain you would come." Maya stepped forward. "This is Colonel Maya Patel of the Earth ship Odyssey. We received your call for help, and we're here to answer it." There was a pause before the response came. "Your arrival brings hope to our people. Follow the guidance markers to the orbital station. We are eager to meet you." As they approached Meridian Prime, the true scale of their civilization became apparent. Despite the evacuation of their outer colonies, their technological achievements were awe-inspiring. Massive structures orbited their homeworld, and ships of various sizes moved with precise coordination through the complex traffic patterns. The 3 Earth ships were directed to a massive orbital facility, its design unlike anything human engineers had conceived. As they docked, Maya addressed the combined crews one final time. "Remember your training, but also remember why we're here. The Meridians chose to reach out to humanity because they saw something special in us. Let's prove them right. The first meeting between humans and Meridians took place in a specially prepared chamber within the orbital station. The Meridian atmosphere had been adjusted to match Earth normal conditions, one of many gestures that showed their commitment to making their guests comfortable. The Meridians themselves were a striking sight. Tall, elegant beings with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors with their movements. Their large, multifaceted eyes reflected light in complex patterns, and their movements were graceful despite their alien physiology. The Meridian first speaker, XRL, approached the human delegation. Colonel Patel, Dr. Chen, representatives of Earth, we welcome you. Though the circumstances are grave, this meeting fills us with profound hope. Maya stepped forward, performing the greeting gesture they had learned from the Meridian transmissions. The honor is ours. First speaker, we've come to help in any way we can. Some among our people doubted that a younger civilization would risk so much for strangers, Shar-El admitted. But we have watched your species for many cycles. Your determination, your creativity in the face of adversity. These qualities are rare in the galaxy. The initial meetings lasted hours as both sides shared information about the void storm and its effects. The Meridians' scientific understanding far surpassed humanity's in many areas, but their approach to problem-solving was fundamentally different. Where they sought perfect, elegant solutions, humans were willing to try unconventional, even seemingly crude approaches. Your species thinks differently than ours, observed Renva, the Meridian chief scientist. You see possibilities where we see only logical progressions. Perhaps this is exactly what we need. As the human teams began working with their Meridian counterparts, cultural barriers slowly broke down. The Meridians were fascinated by human art, music, and literature, particularly how these forms of expression often dealt with overcoming impossible odds. In turn, humans were amazed by Meridian technology and their deep understanding of the universe's fundamental laws. But the shadow of the void storm loomed over everything. Long-range sensors showed its continued expansion, its effects becoming more severe with each passing day. The combined human Meridian science teams worked around the clock, sharing knowledge and developing new theories about the nature of the phenomenon. Dr. Chen, working closely with a team of Meridian communication experts, made a breakthrough in understanding the storm's behavior. It's not just destroying space, she explained during an emergency meeting. It's rewriting the fundamental rules of reality in the affected regions. But there's a pattern to it, a rhythm we might be able to predict and potentially counter. The discovery marked a turning point in the collaboration. For the first time since the storm's appearance, there was a real possibility of finding a solution. But implementing any countermeasure would require both human ingenuity and Meridian technology, working in perfect harmony. As the first day of meetings drew to a close, Maya found herself standing with Shar-El in an observation dome, watching the swirling colors of Meridian Prime's atmosphere below. Your people have already exceeded our highest hopes, Shar-El said softly, but the greatest challenges still lie ahead. Maya nodded, her eyes fixed on the distant stars where the storm lurked. That's usually when humans do their best work. Racing against time. The next 2 weeks saw an unprecedented fusion of human and Meridian expertise. What the Meridians possessed in theoretical knowledge, humans matched with practical innovation. The orbital station became a crucible of ideas, where solutions were proposed, tested, and refined at a dizzying pace. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez worked alongside Meridian physicists, combining their understanding of quantum mechanics with human intuition about chaos theory. The void storm, they discovered, wasn't simply destroying space. It was creating a cascade of reality warping effects that propagated through the quantum fabric of the universe. It's like a wave, Marcus explained during a joint briefing, but instead of moving through space, it's moving through the foundations of reality itself. Each oscillation creates a ripple effect that amplifies the destruction. Renva, The Meridian chief scientist added to the explanation. Our previous attempts to counter it failed because we tried to stop it directly. But the humans suggested something we had never considered, working with the wave instead of against it. The concept was revolutionary in its simplicity. Instead of trying to halt the storm's advance, they would attempt to redirect its energy, using its own momentum to create a self-canceling effect. The theory was sound, but the implementation would require both human ingenuity and Meridian technology. Colonel Patil coordinated the effort from the Odyssey's command center, now integrated with Meridian systems. The storm will reach the outer defense perimeter in 72 hours, she announced to the assembled team. Whatever we're going to do, it has to happen before then. The plan they developed was audacious. They would position a network of modified quantum beacons around the storm's leading edge, each one tuned to resonate with the storm's energy signature. The Odyssey, Prometheus, and Horizon would serve as mobile control points, coordinating the beacon network's response. But there was a catch. Someone would need to pilot a smaller vessel into the storm's outer boundary to gather final calibration data. The mission would be extremely dangerous, with no guarantee of return. I'll do it, Sarah Chen volunteered during the final planning session. I understand the storm's communication patterns better than anyone. If something goes wrong, I'll have the best chance of sending useful data back. Maya wanted to object, but she knew Sarah was right. No one else had her unique combination of skills and understanding of both human and Meridian systems. The preparation for the mission was intense. Sarah's ship, a hybrid of human and Meridian technology, was equipped with every sensor and protection system they could devise. The Meridians provided her with their most advanced shielding technology, while human engineers added redundant systems and backup protocols. As the launch time approached, tension filled the orbital station. The storm's leading edge was now visible to the naked eye, a distortion in space that seemed to bend light itself, creating an otherworldly aurora effect. Remember, Maya told Sarah in the final moments before launch, this isn't just about saving the Meridians anymore. What we learn here could help protect every civilization in the galaxy. Sarah nodded, her expression determined. We're making history one way or another. Might as well make it good history. The small ship launched, accelerating toward the storm's boundary. Every sensor in the combined fleet tracked its progress, gathering data that would be crucial for the final phase of their plan. As Sarah's ship approached the storm's edge, the readings began to fluctuate wildly. The distortions are stronger than we anticipated. Sarah's voice crackled over the comm. But I'm seeing patterns. There's a rhythm to it, just like we theorized. Sending data now. The information streamed back to the fleet, where human and Meridian scientists worked frantically to analyze it. Each new data point refined their understanding of the storm's behavior, allowing them to adjust their countermeasures accordingly. Then, without warning, Sarah's ship disappeared from their sensors. Signal lost. Lieutenant Santos called out. No response from any frequencies. The command center fell silent, the weight of potential loss hanging heavy in the air. Maya gripped her console, forcing herself to focus on the mission even as worry for her friend threatened to overwhelm her. Wait, Renva suddenly called out, pointing to a complex display of quantum readings. There's something. The storm's pattern is changing. It's as if. Before he could finish, a burst of energy erupted from the storm's boundary. Sarah's ship emerged, its hull crackling with strange energies but intact. Her voice, distorted but triumphant, filled the command center. I've got it. The resonance frequency. It's not what we thought. The storm isn't just destroying space, it's trying to rewrite it. But we can use that. We can redirect it. The data she brought back was the key they needed. Working together, human and Meridian scientists quickly modified their plan, adjusting the quantum beacons to match the new frequencies Sarah had discovered. As they prepared to activate the network, Maya couldn't help but feel pride in what they had accomplished. Humans and Meridians, two civilizations separated by vast differences in technology and culture, had found a way to work together in the face of an impossible threat. The fate of the Meridian civilization, and perhaps the entire galaxy, would be decided in the next few hours. Legacy of Unity. The quantum beacon network hummed with power, each device a fusion of Meridian precision and human adaptability. The 3 Earth ships took their positions, forming a triangular pattern around the storm's leading edge. On the Odyssey's bridge, Maya Patel watched as the final preparations were made. All beacons reporting ready, Lieutenant Santos announced. Quantum resonance fields are stable. Sarah Chen's voice came through from her smaller vessel, now serving as a mobile monitoring station. Storm frequency locked. We'll only get one shot at this. The void storm loomed before them, its boundary a writhing maze of distorted spacetime. Sensors showed its destructive power increasing with each passing moment, but they had also detected something new, a pattern within the chaos, a rhythm they could work with. Begin primary sequence, Maya ordered. All ships, maintain position. The quantum beacons activated in sequence, each one generating a field designed to interact with the storm's energy. The theory was elegant in its simplicity. They weren't trying to stop the storm, but to guide it, using its own momentum to create a self-canceling effect. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The storm continued its advance, seemingly unstoppable. Then, gradually, sensors began detecting changes in its behavior. Energy patterns are shifting, Renva reported from the Meridian Control Center. The storm is responding to the resonance field. The view from the Odyssey's bridge was spectacular and terrifying. Where the beacon network met the storm's edge, space itself seemed to fold and twist. Colors that had no name in any human or Meridian language danced across the void. Power fluctuations in the eastern quadrant, Santos called out. Beacon Cluster 7 is failing. Maya's mind raced. The plan had accounted for some beacon failures, but too many would doom the entire effort. Redirect power from secondary systems. We need to maintain the field's strength. The Prometheus and Horizon moved to compensate, their own systems straining to maintain the delicate balance. On her monitoring vessel, Sarah worked frantically to adjust the resonance frequencies, trying to match the storm's evolving patterns. The storm is accelerating its transformation, she reported. But there's something else. It's not just destructive energy. There's a creative force within it, something trying to establish new patterns of reality. Renva's voice carried a note of revelation. Of course, we were so focused on stopping it, we never considered. It's not just destroying space, it's attempting to rebuild it. If we can guide that process, we can help it complete its transformation. Sarah finished. Not stop it, but help it evolve into something stable. The next hours were a blur of activity as human and Meridian teams worked to modify their approach. Instead of trying to cancel out the storm's energy, they began using the beacon network to create a framework for it to follow, like building a channel for a river. The strain on the ships and their crews was enormous. Systems were pushed far beyond their designed limits, held together by human determination and Meridian ingenuity. But gradually, impossibly, it began to work. Storm front is stabilizing, Santos announced. Energy levels are dropping across all sectors. Where the void storm had been, a new phenomenon was taking shape. The destructive chaos was transforming into something ordered, beautiful, a region of space where new physical laws held sway, but in a way that no longer threatened the surrounding universe. As the danger passed, cheers erupted throughout the fleet. Humans and Meridians celebrated together, the barriers between their species forgotten in the joy of shared triumph. In the days that followed, the full impact of their achievement became clear. The Meridian civilization was saved, but more than that, they had discovered something profound about the nature of space itself. The transformed region of the void storm became a subject of intense study, promising new insights into the fundamental structure of the universe. 1 month later, Maya stood with XRL in the same observation dome where they had first contemplated their challenge. Below them, Meridian Prime bustled with activity as joint human Meridian projects flourished. "Your people have changed us," Kar-El said softly. "We had grown so focused on perfection that we had forgotten the value of adaptation, of seeing problems from new angles." Maya smiled. "And you've changed us too. Humanity has learned that we're not alone in facing the universe's challenges. Sometimes the best solutions come from working together." The alliance between humans and Meridians became a model for interstellar cooperation. The technology developed during the crisis accelerated both civilizations' development, but more importantly, it established a new way of thinking about species relations. Earth's first major step into the galactic community had not been through conquest or competition, but through extending a helping hand to a civilization in need. It set a precedent that would shape human-alien relations for generations to come. On the day the Earth ships prepared to return home, carrying with them new knowledge, technology, and the gratitude of an entire civilization, Sarah Chen stood at her communications station one last time. "You know," she said to Maya, "when we first received their message, I never imagined it would lead to all this." Maya looked out at the stars, seeing them now not as distant lights, but as bridges between civilizations. That's the thing about humanity. We never just solve a problem. We build something new in the process. The legacy of their mission would echo through the ages, a testament to what could be achieved when different species came together, each contributing their unique strengths to overcome the impossible. It marked the beginning of a new era, not just for humanity or the Meridians, but for all civilizations who looked to the stars and dreamed of unity.